Hi guys, welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 8th of February 2021. Welcome to episode 7 of Trading Forex. If you haven't already watched the look ahead, go and watch that. I'll go through all the pairs we're going to do a quick scan through today. It is Monday, so I've let Sunday and Monday kind of do their thing, just to give us a little bit more information on what's going to be potentially happening this week. Just a heads up, there will be lesson 2 at the end of this video. So stick around for that, and as always, if you enjoy the content that I'm sharing and you're enjoying the series, please give the videos a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. So I'm just going to go straight ahead into Euro USD, and then we'll go through these at the top here. It's going to be a pretty quick one. So as I mentioned last week, we had a really nice price response from here, and just a quick one. If you haven't already watched all the episodes, or you're new to the channel, they're not very long videos, so if you want to kind of just go through from sort of the intro just says what we're doing, but if you want to kind of go through from episode 1 all the way through to episode sort of 6, you'll get a general feel for what we did on Euro USD, which was a focus pair for last week. And generally each week there'll be one focus pair, and that will be the one that I'm trying to open a trade on. And we just missed the Euro USD trade last week by 2 pips, and it was a beautiful analysis and a very nice price response down here. So I was saying, this is where I really want to see price, to be honest, but there's all of this to get through first. And you can see after this price response, today's been pretty muted, so there's not really much we can do with this in terms of at the minute, so to speak, right? And you can see a pretty crappy price action, even if we drop down to the hourly, just to give us an idea of the start of this week. And it's just kind of, you try to pop a little bit here, and it's just pulled in a little bit. There is a small section of price action, and you can see this on the sorry, not price action, liquidity, and you can see this down here. Just here, we're going to make this red just to really stand out in terms of liquidity. That price might want to drive to, in terms of price point to where we are, or where we're at right now, talking around about almost, we'll call it 50 pips. So once it gets there, and a little bit of run through, and then you've got an area of imbalance up here, so around about 50 pips or so. So there is some potential there, but I'm not 100% on Euro USD this week, so I'm going to be monitoring this, but I'm not 100%. Let's go over to the pound USD, and again, nice. I do like this. I really like the fact that we've, it's been pushing up. Every time it goes down there, it just accumulates more, and it's been pushing back up. And I do like this. I like the fact that we went down today. Excuse me, that we went down today and reversed. There's a lot of liquidity building up here. So if it does pop and break through this, it should give enough. There should be enough buying pressure, to pop this at least a full day's range. Now this is the daily, so if we just drop down to the 4 hour and see if there's anything interesting that we can sort of look over, you see that's beautiful. That's very nice. I do like that a lot, actually. That's the line in the sand for me now. So this is not a bad shout, actually. This is not a bad shout. So definitely going to be probably the focus pair for this week. Going to be very interesting to see what this does during London tomorrow. So I may get into this tomorrow. Let me zoom out a little bit, because I just want to see if there's anything interesting on the left. No, we'd have to zoom out too much to see. Probably going to be a quick scalp. So if I do end up in this, let me drop down to the hourly and see if there's anything in this here. So we've got a drop today, nice reversal. This is not a bad spot, to be fair. Not a bad spot. Yeah, the pound USD definitely the focus pair for this week. You can see the upward pressure on this, so we're going to be paying attention to this very closely. Pound Japanese yen, And what I'll do, I'll just quickly go back to cable for a second. What I'm going to do, I'm not going to say anything about it just yet. I'm going to monitor it going into Asia this evening, and then during London tomorrow, during the London session, I generally get up around about 4 o'clock. So when I get up this morning, when I get up tomorrow morning, if there's something there, then I will open or put a pending order in, and then we'll do what we did on Euro last week and see if it gets triggered. So pound, Japanese yen. Again, as I said, it's accelerating a little bit, but I need to see a bit more on this before I commit to anything. But it's more of a watch and wait. And I did say I'd be more interested in watching this accelerate into this for a fade as opposed to trying to catch this on the way up. Yeah. So just bear that in mind on the pound, Japanese yen, pound, Aussie dollar. Again, need to see this commit to the downside now. Not interested in this because it looks like to me it just wants to kind of either bleed slowly to the downside or just kind of go nowhere. One of these two pairs needs to take control, and right now they're kind of neutral both sides. None of them is in control in terms of the pound in control or the Aussie dollar in control, but one of these, the pound's pretty strong at the minute, and that's why this isn't really doing anything. So if it does start to push towards the downside, though, this is where I would be expecting price to go. Upside, not interested, purely because of the fact that it went up there and it did this, took this out just there, and then it reversed. USD Japanese yen, a mess. Moving on. USD CAD, just as a quick look at, it's a mess. Moving on. Gold. Again, still looking for the 1750 for me. It is stabilizing in this area. You can see it goes up, it comes down, it went down, it comes up. It is doing a little bit of work here, but again, I really want to see it down at 1750. There is an area where it would want to absorb some liquidity down there, and I'd have to go a little bit deeper into price delivery here on the daily. If you want to go and do the study, do the daily and the 4 hour on this small section here, you might be able to see it. You'd need a little bit of experience in reading price, but you can see it on the daily and the 4 hour, and that's why I want to see 1750 and why I believe it's going to 1750. But either way, I need to see it at 1750 more for just buying physical gold. I'm not interested in actually getting into this, through a broker, for example, and actually trading the cash price. Silver for me, yeah, little bit of upside again. I mean, look, we had that pop because of that Reddit stuff, but again, I'm just going to leave this on the monthly and see what we do this month. So that's the rundown. Pound USD. This is going to be the focus pair for this week. I'm interested to see if we can pick something up on this tomorrow, okay, during the London session. So watch the space for that one, and then I'll update you guys tomorrow, as usual, in episode 8. So let's go over to our lesson. Okay, in yesterday's lesson, I was discussing, and again, I'll just quickly say, I am quite unorthodox in the way I teach, the way that I trade, and I want to make it really clear. What I'm going to do, because I realized yesterday as I started talking, I just kind of went straight into it. So I'm going to backtrack on what I was talking about yesterday briefly, and then I'll go into today because I want to make it clear as we're going through each stage, because it's not going to be step 1, step 2, step 3. I'm not going to be teaching each stage. I'm just going to teach you how to read price, in my own way. So if you just kind of go through the process, trust me, it's really going to help you, understand what it is that I see, or at least I hope it will anyway. So I was saying, there's 2 areas of significance, and putting that aside for a second, if you just sit down over the weekend, okay, the first thing that I really wanted to get across yesterday was, in lesson 1, the main thing was, over the weekend, before you do anything else, okay, let's say you know nothing about trading, this is the first thing that you need to focus on, okay. Over the weekend, and we're going to throw you straight into it, just, trial by fire. Over the weekend, you need to have an idea of what you are looking for in the coming week, okay? Doesn't matter if you know what you're doing, it makes no difference, because we're not talking about trading live, we're not talking about throwing money into the marketplace, we're talking about education here. This is not trade advice. I'm not licensed to give trade advice. I'm not telling you guys what to do. We're just talking about education and learning how to read price. That's it, nothing more. So you start with, it's the weekend, the market's closed, you've got some time, you're going to sit in front of the charts and you're going to say, okay, look, I'm just going to look at a couple of pairs, I'm not going to overdo it, and I just want to kind of get a feel for where I think price is going, because it's an intuitive thing. We're not trying to crack eggs, it's not crack eggs, sorry, I'm not talking about. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, we're not trying to be smart, we're not trying to caress our ego, we're just trying to keep things really simple and just try to get a nice intuitive understanding, because everything's about the trader. It's not about technical analysis, it's not about indicators, it's not about fundamental analysis. Okay, these are all just additions to you as a trader. Yeah, so I'm working on the trader, that's what my focus is. Okay, so the weekend you sit down, you've got a couple of charts, maybe the Euro USD, the Pound USD, whatever, it really makes no difference. Okay, and you're looking at it and you say, right, market's closed, week's coming up. Okay, so on Sunday on excuse me, on Sunday onwards, when the market's open, I want an idea of where I think price is going to go. Okay, because I need to study price. I need to kind of figure out if am I on the right track. Am I just going to haphazardly just do anything? I need to have some structure to what we're doing. I've got to plan the week ahead. Yeah. So when I sit down, I need to figure out, is there upward pressure or is there downward pressure? Okay, so when we were talking, and just to keep it simple, guys, it really is as basic as that. Is there upward pressure or is there downward pressure? And you'll find, if you take a small section of price action where you currently are, okay, the reason I chose these two areas is because this is really significant. We were going down. After this, we started going up. Yeah, and that's pretty pronounced. Okay. And then I chose this small section of price action here because that's where current price is right now, and it's the weekly, so it's a good chunk of time. Okay, so we're trying to deduce whether or not, and let me just extend this so we can see that this week. So we're just trying to deduce, is there upward pressure or downward pressure? Okay, we don't want to know why, we don't want to know what the orders are doing, or liquidity, or why the markets move, or none of that stuff. We just want to understand, while we're looking at this chart, can we work out whether there's upward pressure or downward pressure? That's it, nothing more. Okay, so as we're looking at this, we say to ourselves, okay, we're looking at this, and I was saying in the previous lesson, we had this nice down move here. Okay, this down week, and then it reversed, and then it reversed, and that candle there dropped, picks up some liquidity. In fact, forget liquidity, I'm not going to go too deep. It drops, and then there was some upward pressure, finished strong. Then it drops again, upward pressure, okay, finishes strong. Now this week, we are in the upper portion, okay, of this consolidation. So if you just use this box as a guide, okay, and we just put it into quarters, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, we're in the upper quarter, okay, of this range, yeah, this consolidation. So at the minute, as it stands, we're still at the top. So it seems like there's upward pressure. So this week, in lesson 2, and this is what the lesson 2 is really all about, we've figured out in lesson 1, there is this upward pressure. Yeah. So in lesson 2, we're trying to figure out, what do we do with this information? Okay. We simply say we have 5 trading days this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And during those trading days, I am just going to pick one direction, nothing more. Okay. And in lesson 2, okay, I want to, I'm giving you guys the lesson 2. I guess it's kind of homework really, but lesson 2, yeah, is to drop down. To the daily chart. Okay. So remember, we've deduced loosely that we feel that there's upward pressure on this. Okay, so we're going to drop down to the daily, okay, and we're going to try and figure out, for lesson 2, where we think price is going to go for the next 5 days. Yeah. Now, how do we do this? We zoom right in on the section of price that we have. Okay, so this is our price. Now we have a high here and we have a low down here. Okay, and again, very simple. a high, and a low. So there's your top end range, and there's the bottom of the range. Okay, and price is currently sitting right here. All right. Now, when we zoom into the daily chart like this, on the weekly you can see that we're in an upper quarter. On the daily, it looks like we're about a third, but we're not going to split hairs. It really, we don't have to get too anal about, the analysis in that way. The point is, it's still within the consolidation. It still seems all right. But as a beginning trader, I have done my analysis over the weekend. I've kept it simple. I've said, okay, look, if I feel there's upward pressure, okay, so now I'm going to try and figure out where I believe price is going to go, over the next 5 days. Okay, so a couple of things to note, and this is again trial by fire. I'm just going to add a few things that may be a little bit confusing, but again, if you go with the process, it will all come together. There was, let me get the rectangles. There was a price response here. Okay, and there's a price response here. Okay, so price went up and it responded. Yeah. Okay, now I'm just trying to articulate this. Sorry guys, I know I'm pausing for a second, but I'm trying to articulate this in a way where I'm trying to keep it really simple and really basic. So at the bottom end of the range, okay, we had a nice move lower. Okay, so it creates this low. So this is the low of the range. Then it starts to grind higher, and then we get a small pullback here. Okay, and this is where I need you guys to be interactive. Okay, and you've got to do this obviously in your own time. So price pulls back, and we get a nice price response away from that. Okay, so here something happened. Okay, we know something happened, but I want you to really pay attention to the tails, or wicks, if you want to call them wicks. Okay, and make a note of these tails. Yeah, and remember, everything that we're doing, it's always going to be on Euro USD. Euro Japanese yen, so you're not going to get confused. Okay, so I want you to pay attention to these tails because they're significant. Yeah, and we're going to tie everything together as we're continuing through this series and continuing through these lessons. Okay, so again, please just trust me on this. So there was a price response here, tail, and then it starts to grind higher. Okay, and again, I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but just pay particular note of the fact that this candle here took out this candle's low. Okay, very important. Make notes, please make notes. And then price starts to grind up, and then we get another price response here. Okay, all right. So what I want you to do is I want you to try to use these two, and what we'll do, just to make it absolutely clear, we're going to make them blue. No, that's not what I was trying to do. Yeah, actually, we could do it that way. So we'll leave that one blue, and then we'll leave these two purple. So the two purple areas that I've just denoted and I've just gone through, I want you to try to figure out, based on these two areas, where you believe the liquidity was. And again, don't worry if you don't understand about liquidity for a second. It really doesn't matter for now. Based on these two areas, where the liquidity was, okay, for price to respond that way. Okay, so as price was going up here and then it starts to pull back, okay, you had a response here, and then it starts to grind up. Okay, so while this was happening, where was the liquidity? Obviously, it wasn't just in the middle of the chart, just here. There's something happened. Like in this area here, okay, somewhere to the left, there was some liquidity somewhere. And again, as price responded here, somewhere to the left, there was liquidity. Okay, so I'm going to leave the lesson at that. Again, you may need to go back over the lesson and re-listen to it. But start with that. In lesson 3, we're going to hash it out, and then I'm going to give you a better understanding of where price could potentially be going for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Okay, because it's all going to tie in together. All right. So again, trust me on this one. I'm going to leave it at that. Zoom out and get the chart ready for tomorrow. Okay. Yeah, it should be all right about there. Okay. And then we'll put our cable chart up, because like I said, I really do like this. So I'm going to leave cable. I'll do an update on this tomorrow. I'll leave the lesson at there. I'm going to do a London session tomorrow, pending order if I find a suitable entry, and then obviously I'll update you guys later in the day, as I normally do in the next episode. All right, guys. So I'll leave it at that. Hope everybody's well, and I will catch up with you soon. Take care.